Hey everyone, Grayson the Bard here, and welcome to day 53 of the hunt a day. Today is going to be a little bit of a shorter one since Saturdays are usually pretty busy for me and I have a lot I gotta get done before I go to work this morning. So, let's dive right into it. Today I am finishing up the yokai monsters from Monster Hunter Rise with Almudron. And I like Almudron. I don't love Almudron. There are some things that I'm kind of torn on with him. But I think a lot of what I don't like about Almudron has more to do with my initial playthrough of Monster Hunter Rise and the weapons I chose for that. And I'll get into that in a little bit. I want to start off with what I like about Almudron first, because I like to start with the positive. I think he looks cool as hell. In terms of design, Almudron seems to be based on Dorotabo, which are a kind of like old man mud vengeance spirit kind of thing from the little bit of research that I did before pressing record today. And I like that, unlike Somnicanth, they didn't try to make Almudron more humanoid than they needed to, but they really leaned into the mud, and I think it plays really well. I'm glad they didn't do a Baroth or a Giratotus thing where he has like mud armor that you have to break off, because that mechanic honestly never really landed for me. I think it's neat, but I think that it is always one of those things that you just kind of forget about and doesn't leave much of an impact on you, especially in later difficulties of the fight. I like the way that Almudron mostly uses mud defensively, sending waves of it at you to knock you away, building up walls to keep you away from it, while using more of its considerable size, its tail, its claws to be its offensive tools. I like the coloration, the deep, like, gray, black, and yellow, almost giving him a bug-like appearance. The catfish face, which has, like, I was talking about how I liked how Magnamalo had kind of feline-y features. I don't know what it is, but I feel like Almudron also has kind of feline-y features in his face, in addition to, like, the big catfish whiskers. Even though, like, catfish don't look like cats, but you get what I mean. And I like how usually midway through the fight he will make this, like, massive bludgeon of mud and his, like, gold slime stuff that he has that, he uses to weaponize the mud. And use that to try and bludgeon you, and that becomes both a very threatening tool and a weak point that you can use to try and get more damage in and knock him down for an extended period of time. I don't know why he didn't do it in this fight at all. I was waiting for it. I was waiting to, like, run around for a little bit so I could get some shots of it, but he didn't. He just didn't. I don't know if I broke his tail too fast for the first part break of it or what, but yeah, no golden ball of death today. I like the way it moves, and I like how it spends most of its time submerged in the mud. You don't really see him, like, walking around on all fours a lot. He's usually submerged and, like, floating backwards looking at you, and I think that's a cool look. I think, the standard Leviathan skeleton can sometimes look a little samey on monsters, so seeing it used in a different way is always really nice as well. Now, on to what I don't like about the monster, and this seems to be a fairly common consensus with Almudron's fight, is that the boy refuses to sit still, and for weapons that are kind of slow-moving, and especially weapons that want to hit the head, he is a pain in the ass. The first time I fought Almudron was with a hammer, and that was a shitty experience. Just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I did not enjoy that fight. I switched to Hunting Horn, and I also did not enjoy the fight. I think just the bludgeoning weapons against Almudron are an absolute pain. But when I switched to then fight him with ranged weapons, I think I used bow. The fight was a lot easier, it went a lot more smoothly, and I enjoyed it a lot more. Same thing, I really like fighting him with lance and gun lance. I just had a really bad time fighting him with hammer. And the biggest issue is that his head is so hard to get to consistently, and when you do run up on him, he usually swims away or, like, darts across the map, and it can be frustrating to have to constantly chase him back and forth. I also feel like he has similar issues to Narjarala, where he can be so big that sometimes your camera won't pick up on where attacks are coming from, so you will get hit by stuff that you probably could have avoided. The only other thing I don't really like about Almudron that I absolutely loved when I first fought him was when he gets kind of towards the end, like the final quarter of his health bar, I think, he will put up that, like, pseudo maze of mud walls and dart across the map and just kind of sit there for a little bit. And I thought that was really neat the first time I did it, and I thought you had to, like, go through the maze and get to him and all that. And then I realized you can just walk around it, and it does nothing, and there's really no point. And now it just makes me sad every time I see it, because it is a cool idea. Like, as a last-ditch effort, this monster trying to, like, put up a blockade that you have to get through in order to take him down for this final confrontation. And it is just a nothing sandwich, and that's disappointing. And if they do bring Almudron back, I would really like to see them do something wacky and wild with that mechanic, because I think it's got some real cool potential. Alright, that is where I'm going to be ending. I know I said I was going to keep things short today, but I end up going about the same length each time. I cannot be stopped. My rambling cannot be contained. That's where I'm going to stop for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stick around until the end of the fight if you can. I come real close to having a cart in this one, folks. It was not good. I was like, I think, a pixel away from death at one point. So please stick around until the end of the fight if you can. If not, I understand. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. And until next time, I'll see you next time.